Alright, so in the last video we did parts 1 and 2 along with upsetting the balance. We're going to look at the key points again. So we're going to practice together, and then there's going to be a page for you to practice on your own. So remember, a key point is an important idea that an author wants us to understand. Authors give reasons to help support these key ideas. These key points. So look in your workbook again, page 139. It looks like this right here. It says practice together. So we're still using upsetting the balance here. So if we think about this story, it told us about fishermen catching large sharks and how that affected that food chain. So think about the different animals that were in that. We had the sharks, the cow-nosed rays, clams, and then the other fish, the shellfish. So what happens to the food chain when people hunt too many sharks? We found out that the food chain breaks. There are too many cow-nosed rays, and then they eat too many of the shellfish, and then we don't have enough shellfish for the fishermen. All right, so we're going to think about the key point that they want us to know in this about the sharks and rays and shellfish. So look at these two sentences right here. Number 1, for many years, fishermen caught large sharks. Number 2, the choices we make can cause trouble for plants, animals, and people. So which one of those do you think is the key point that the author wanted us to know? Right, number 2. Now the number 1 sentence is in that story, but that's not the main idea. They want us to know that the choices we make can cause trouble for plants, animals, and people. All right, now, just like we did yesterday, Tuesday, we're going to write a reason to support this. All right, so how do we know that from this story that the choices we make can cause trouble? Good. Right here, once this food chain was in balance, but then fishermen caught too many sharks. And then we saw that because they caught too many sharks that the cow-nosed rays grew. There were too many of them, and they ate more of the shellfish. So we're going to write fishermen caught too many sharks. We want to make sure that we're making responsible choices with our food. That way we do not break a food chain too much. I'll give you just a second to write that. You can pause this video at any time if you need to finish your work. Alright, now on the back of this page, let me clear this out real quick. On the back of this page there is a practice by myself. So you're going to practice this on your own. I'm going to read through this and tell you what you need to do, and then I'm going to leave this passage up here for you. And parents or students, pause the video when you're ready to do this workbook page, and then you can come back and double check your answers once you get done. Alright, so the first one says, circle the sentence that tells one of the author's key points. Okay, and the hint says, what does the author want people to do? So number 1, we need to think about what we do and make wise choices. Number 2, what should people do about problems like these? So if you know the answer already, go ahead and circle it. Then you're going to use the story here to help you find a reason to support that key idea. Okay, so you should be able to see everything you need on this page here. So go ahead and pause the video here, and then I will come back and give you the answers in case you need them. Alright, so hopefully you did that workbook page on your own. What is the key point that the author wants us to know? Number 1, we need to think about what we do and make wise choices. And we saw from the example with the fisherman that that's a good reason. Now, for the reason on this, you should have written something around the lines of this right here. Okay, we need to think about what we do and make wise choices. Careful choices can help keep the balance in nature. Keeping the balance helps all the living things that share our planet. So you don't have to write all of that. You can kind of condense it a little bit. Careful choices help keep the balance in nature. So I know all of you did a fabulous job on doing that on your own. Just remember, whenever you read a story, always go through and try to find that key point or that main idea. And then find the reasons that the author gives you. You should be able to find those reasons within just a few sentences of each other. So keep practicing, keep reading, and doing an awesome job. See you next time.